What's up, people? Welcome back to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. Hope everyone is doing well on this Thursday evening. I hope you've all had a really good day wherever you are in the world. We've got an absolutely massive show for you guys this evening. We've got so much to get into. We're going to be talking a bit about Amrabat. We're going to be talking a bit about Harry Maguire. We're going to be talking a little bit about Fred as well, Kolo Muani, Todibo, and we're also going to be talking about a surprise bid that has reportedly gone in today. We will be getting into that a little bit later on in the show. We've got a little bit to talk about of the takeover, but I'll keep it really short and sweet because I know most people are sick to death of it. But there is a couple of stories that come out today about it, so I will bring it into the show. And we will also be talking a little bit about Hannibal Mejbri as well. So as always, I do ask that you smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new around here, and let's jump straight on into the show. Okay, let's start off with some positivity, shall we? Because you know I like to do positivity on this channel. So we have had now confirmation that Rasmus Hojlund has completed his medical at Manchester United and the contract has been signed. This is coming out from 2 or 3 different journalists that Rasmus Hojlund's medical is completed ahead of the official announcement, which we believe to be this Saturday at Old Trafford in the match against Lens. I don't know why this deal has taken so long, to be completely honest with you. The journalists who are reporting about this are saying it's something to do with the contract and visa. So obviously, now that England is not a part of the European Union, if a player from outside of England has to come, wants to come and play in England, I assume they have to get a visa. So apparently it's something to do with the visa. Fabrizio and Samuel Lucas said United are currently finalising Rasmus Hojlund's visa and registration. So I'm not sure entirely what that means, but yeah, I guess it is because he is from Denmark, isn't he? He's Danish, so I guess he needs a visa now to technically work in the UK, which is obviously just another fallout of Brexit. But let's not get political on this show because that's not what we're here for. But the positive is that he has completed his medical and they're literally just waiting for the visa to come in, and then he'll be announced as a Manchester United player. So I'm really looking forward to doing that watch along with you guys on Saturday, 12:30 UK time kickoff, Manchester United against Lens at Old Trafford. And we are expecting Rasmus Hojlund to be unveiled as an official Manchester United player. So if you are around on Saturday, we will be live from about 12 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, and we will be doing a watch along. It's only our 3rd ever watch along on this channel, so do get involved if you are about. But yeah, so that's just as always. We do like to start the show off with positivity just to get things moving in the right direction. But let's keep things rolling. Let's move on to Mr. Harry Maguire, the man of the moment, the one who everybody is talking about. So we've had 2 or 3 different stories come out this afternoon surrounding Harry Maguire. The first one's come out from Miguel Delaney, who is reporting that David Moyes is intent on signing Harry Maguire. West Ham would be willing to do the deal if they can get him for 20 million. But Manchester United are holding out for 30 million plus. Maguire may have to accept reality if the club does accept an offer. So at the moment, it seems like there's a bit of a stalemate between Manchester United and West Ham. West Ham obviously offered 20. Manchester United want 30 million plus. Hopefully they meet somewhere in the middle. Hopefully West Ham come back in with maybe 25 million plus add-ons. The key thing is here, they are still interested. They are still trying to get this deal over the line. And I do think it will happen. I do. I just think it might take a bit longer. We've still got about a month left of the transfer window, you have to remember. So I think we've just got to give this one a bit of time, to be completely honest with you. The Mail as well have reported that West Ham are looking to make a second bid to sign Manchester United defender Harry Maguire. And then we've got a bit of a strange one as well. So Ben Jacobs said earlier on today that apparently Harry Maguire could be a target for Wolves if they sell Maximilian Kilman. I mean, why on earth would Harry Maguire go to Wolves? I think that's the biggest load of rubbish I've ever seen. Yeah, Harry Maguire's not going to go to Wolves. Literally, I'll eat my own hat, and I don't even have a hat if Harry Maguire goes to Wolves. That's definitely not going to happen. To West Ham is maybe believable. Obviously, they're in Europe. They've just won a European trophy. I know it was the Conference League, but they still won a trophy. Whereas Wolverhampton Wanderers, I mean, I'll probably say this, and we'll get beaten by them on the first day of the season or something, won't we? But let's be honest, like Wolves is not really a club that you'd want to move to from Manchester United, is it? Let's be completely honest. West Ham are definitely levels above Wolves, so I think we can put that story straight in the trash. But I thought I'd bring it to you guys anyway, just to see what you guys think. But yeah, I can't see that one happening, to be completely honest. I think West Ham is the most likely destination for Harry Maguire, and I think the deal will come in at somewhere around 20 to 30 million pounds. That is what's being reported today by various different journalists. There is a bit of a gap in valuation, which is obviously always going to happen in these types of deals. 20 million wasn't enough, but I do think 20 to 25 will get it over the... Sorry, 25 to 30 will get this one over the line. There'll probably be some sort of add-ons, but the key thing is here, they are pushing for this deal. David Moyes really, really wants to get Harry Maguire at the club. And as I've said to you guys many, many times on the show before, Harry Maguire will walk into that West Ham team. He will absolutely dominate the defensive style of play that David Moyes likes to play. So yeah, let's just keep our fingers and toes crossed. Let's hope that Harry gets his move. And as always, I wish all of our players all the best. I never wish any hate upon anybody. Right. We've got over 400 of you in the chat already, which is absolutely incredible. Please do smash a like on the video if you haven't already, guys. And please do go and subscribe to the channel. We're less than 70 subscribers away from 8,300. So let's see if we can hit that by the end of the video. Let's see if we can hit 8,300. That's a good goal for this video. But let's keep things moving on this evening show. Let's keep things rolling, as I always like to do. Let's talk about none other than Mr. Sofyan Amrabat, the man, somebody, do you know what? I just want to bring this into the show. I literally had the best comment ever on one of my videos earlier. So a video went live and somebody wrote, they were at whoa. I had to pause for a minute because I genuinely thought that Sofyan Amrabat was talking to me about Sofyan Amrabat transfer news. And honestly, I started absolutely cracking up. It was such a good comment. I've probably not read it out very well, but ultimately this person genuinely thought that I was Sofyan Amrabat and was saying they were really confused as to why Sofyan Amrabat was reading out transfer news about himself. Anyway, I thought that was funny. So yeah, whoever puts the best comment in the chat today will get some sort of prize. I don't know what. They'll get a signed picture of me, Sofyan Amrabat. How about that? Anyway, let's talk about Sofyan Amrabat and stop talking about how I supposedly look like him. So we've had about 3 or 4 different stories come out today since we spoke this morning about Mr. Amrabat, not myself. And ultimately the gist of it is, Amrabat is desperate to come to Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano came out earlier on this afternoon saying that apparently Sofyan Amrabat has rejected 2 offers from Saudi Arabia because he wants to wait for Manchester United. So apparently Saudi Arabian clubs are knocking on the door for Amrabat. They're putting in very, very lucrative offers towards him, but he doesn't want to come. Fabrizio says Sofyan Amrabat has rejected very important financial approaches from Saudi Arabia because he wants to wait for Manchester United. And then we also have had a very similar story come out from Alex Crook, who obviously reports for TalkSport, saying that Sofyan Amrabat is so keen to join Manchester United that he is willing to reject a big money offer from Saudi Arabian side Al Hilal. So the Saudi Arabian clubs are knocking at the door. They really, really want to get this one over the line. But obviously that's not going to happen, to be completely honest with you, is it? He wants to come to Manchester United. He's absolutely desperate. He really, really is. Yeah. And you know what? The same with Rasmus Hojlund. I think that's it's not just because I look like him. That's not because why I want him at the club. I want him here because he's a good player, but also because he actually wants to play for Manchester United. I think we've had too many mercenaries over the last 5 to 10 years. You know, Alexis Sanchez, Di Maria, all of these people who come in, and let's be completely honest, they come in for the paycheck, they do half of what's expected, and then they leave in a couple of years, you know? I'm sick of people like that. That's what I love about Sofyan Amrabat. That's what I love about Rasmus Hojlund. We're bringing in people who are literally desperate to play for Manchester United, and you know they're going to go out on that pitch and do everything they can to win us football matches, whereas you know people like Alexis Sanchez, they didn't care. All they cared about was themselves. So yeah, that's why I'm so excited about Amrabat. It's not because I look like him. It is because he's a good player, and it is because of what he'll bring to the club. It really, really is. So we've had another story come out from an Italian newspaper called Corriere. Again, a good Italian source saying that Ten Hag continues to push Manchester United to sign his protege. They've called Sofyan Amrabat Ten Hag's protege, which is kind of fair. We'll get into that in a minute. It goes on to say that United are not far away from completing the deal. The final breakthrough is expected by the end of the week. So we are expecting a breakthrough in the negotiations between Manchester United and Fiorentina by the end of this week. The fee is believed to be somewhere between 20 to 30 million euros. Obviously, we don't know the exact fee at this point, but somewhere between there will reportedly get the deal done. And anybody wondering why they're calling him Ten Hag's protege, obviously, Sofyan Amrabat used to play under Ten Hag at FC Utrecht in the Eredivisie, so they already do have an existing relationship. They both know what to expect of each other, which is really, really good. It is, because that's the kind of people we need. We need people that Ten Hag trusts. We need people that understand what Ten Hag requires from them. And we know for a fact that Sofyan Amrabat will understand what Ten Hag wants, because he ultimately built his career under him, you know? He came through the youth academy when Ten Hag was the manager there. Ten Hag brought him into the team, and they had a really, really good relationship, apparently. And Sofyan Amrabat speaks so fondly of Erik Ten Hag. So this one is really a match made in heaven. And then we've got another story coming out from Gazzetta, who are reporting the following. Manchester United are set to make the decisive leap to sign Sofyan Amrabat. It's a matter of time. Amrabat will be in England tomorrow, with Fiorentina for pre-season friendly. So apparently Amrabat is in England tomorrow. I don't think too much into that because obviously Rasmus Hojlund was in England, wasn't he, for some friendlies with Atalanta, and then he did end up going back to Atalanta before he came to England. So just because he's in England tomorrow, I'm not expecting us to get a completed deal tomorrow or anything like that. But it's only going to build up more hype around the transfer, the fact that he's coming to England tomorrow. They're playing Newcastle tomorrow, actually. That could be an interesting to watch. So Fiorentina are playing Newcastle United tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. So if anybody's got nothing to do tomorrow and they want to see what Sofyan Amrabat's about, then go and watch that game. Newcastle United, 3:30 kickoff tomorrow against Fiorentina. Amrabat will be going to that match apparently, which is a bit strange because he didn't go on the pre-season tour. So I'm a little bit confused as to why he's going to play matches if he is going to be sold, but who knows? I guess Rasmus Hojlund went to the game, didn't he, against Bournemouth the other day, but he just didn't play. So maybe he'll go and just be on the bench. But yeah, I'm not really too sure, to be completely honest with you. And then we've got another one coming out from Alex Crook, who obviously writes reports for TalkSport, saying that sources close to Sofyan Amrabat say he only has eyes for Manchester United. I mean, all of the stories we've read out this afternoon or this evening kind of back up that point, don't they? The fact that he's rejected Saudi Arabian clubs, the fact that he's rejected a move to West Ham. Anybody who missed the show this morning, apparently West Ham put in a 30 million euros bid for Sofyan Amrabat, but the player is not willing to go there. He doesn't want to move to West Ham. He wants to come to Manchester United. That's the black and white of it. He wants to be a Manchester United player. He wants to reunite with Ten Hag. And I love that one of those articles called Sofyan Amrabat, Eric Ten Hag's protege. I absolutely love that. I really, really do. Yeah, it made me really happy when I saw that. And it goes on to say, this is coming in from Fabrizio, who we obviously know is the man, the legend. He says Sofyan Amrabat is really attracted by the possibility of working with Eric Ten Hag again. He really wants to join Manchester United. I mean, literally every single thing is pointing towards him becoming a Manchester United player. I'm so excited about him. I really, really am. And yeah, let me know how you're feeling about this one. I'm absolutely desperate for Sofyan Amrabat now. I really, really am. So somebody in the chat's asking how to join the members club. So if you do want to join the members club, if you want to do super chats, you should just be able to hit the $sign. I've just dropped a link in the chat for the members club. So if you are in a position to join the members club, I will drop a link in the chat for you now, guys. I've just stuck that in the chat. Do get involved in the members club if you can. If you're not in a financial position to be able to join the members club, that's obviously completely fine. I understand how difficult times are at the moment, but I do ask that you just subscribe to the channel. That's completely free. And do smash a like on the video. It costs no money. Everybody is welcome in this community, so do get involved. But yeah, if you are able to join the members club, then obviously that's also appreciated. People, all right, I'm just going to ignore the chat for the moment because some people are asking why the Glazers and Eric Ten Hag are bold. I don't know the answer to that, to be completely honest with you, you know? I'm not really too sure. And as people say, bold is best. Eric Ten Hag knows. He's got a lot of wisdom up there, all right? So don't be slagging off Eric Ten Hag for not having any hair. Anyway, let's move on to the next story. Let's keep things rolling. We're not here to talk about people's hairstyles. Right, so let's talk about Fred. Now, I'm not sure what to make of this one, to be completely honest with you, but obviously it is a news show, so let's bring it in. Fabrizio Romano is reporting that apparently Fred's deal to Galatasaray looks complicated. There is apparently no agreement and the deal is currently on standby. Fabrizio has since come out and said Fred will not join Galatasaray. Other clubs are now keen on him. So it looks like the deal of Fred to Galatasaray has fallen through. And as Fabrizio Romano says, Fred will not be joining Galatasaray. I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm not really that bothered about that, to be honest, because the amount of money that Galatasaray were offering was an absolute joke, to be completely straight with you. They were offering 5 million, 8 million, 10 million euros, right? Absolute disgrace. There is no way on earth we should have ever even considered accepting any of those bids from Galatasaray. So let's hope that a club with more finances come in for him, because he is a good player. He is. He's worth 15 to 20 million. He's not good enough for Manchester United, but I do think a club should pay around 15 to 20 million for Fred, because he is worth that amount of money, in my opinion. And although it sounds a bit negative, the deal's off. The deal is only off to Galatasaray. As Fabrizio Romano says, there are other clubs who have now entered the race for Fred. So we've just got to hope that some of these other clubs are a bit more serious, you know? Surely a Saudi Arabian club is going to offer more than £10 million for Fred. Surely they'd offer 15, 20 million for him. You know, if they're putting in bids of 300 million euros for Mbappe, now, I'm not by any means comparing Fred with Mbappe, but if they value Mbappe at 300 million, surely they'll value Fred at 20. 30 years of age, Brazilian international, played over 100 matches for Manchester United, played in the Champions League. Like, Fred is definitely worth 20 million if you're going on the basis of how much the Saudi league are paying for players at the moment. So maybe this is actually a positive thing. The only thing I will add to this, obviously Manchester United apparently need to sell either Fred or Donny van de Beek in order to complete the purchase of Amrabat. So there is the potential that this might slow down the deal for Amrabat, you know. It did look like Fred was going to join. It looked like he'd agreed personal terms, and now it suddenly is off. So it does kind of put us back to the drawing board. It does put us back to square one a little bit. But if in the end we get more money than we were going to get from Galatasaray, I don't really have an issue with that. It looks like Amrabat is doing everything in his power to wait for Manchester United. So I'm not really too worried about a Saudi club coming in and kidnapping or, you know, taking the deal for Amrabat, to be completely honest. He's rejected West Ham. He's rejected Saudi. Why would he now, you know, pull out of the move for Manchester United? So I do think we're in a good position, and I do just hope that another club comes in and is willing to pay the money we wanted. Manchester United reportedly are asking for £20 million for Fred's signature. Galatasaray were offering half of that. So to be completely honest, I'd say goodbye, Galatasaray. We're not going to bother even talking to you anymore. 15, 10 is a joke. We need 20 for Fred. We really, really do. Let me know in the comments section though, guys, how much do you think is a fair price for Fred? I think 20 is. I think 20 is a good price. I do, especially if it's, you know, a Saudi Arabian club who, let's be real, have the budget to be able to pay those types of fees. Yeah. Whoever was asking about the members club, let me know if you managed to. I've had a few people saying they don't know how to join the members club, so I'm just going to drop a link in the chat for it. If you guys do want to join the members club, I've just put a link in the chat. Let me know if you're still having issues, and I'll try and help out. Anyway, let's keep going with the rest of the show. We've got some news about Hannibal Mejbri. Now, he is somebody I really, really like. I think Hannibal Mejbri could go on to be a very, very special player for Manchester United, but it does look like Hannibal will be going out on loan this season, guys. And it looks like his destination will be Luton, the newly promoted team in the Premier League. The story goes as follows. Manchester United have accepted a loan offer from Luton Town for Hannibal Mejbri. The player hasn't yet made up his decision, though. So the offer's come in. Manchester United have accepted it, but they're just waiting for Hannibal to sign off on that offer. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think that is an incredible move for Hannibal. Go into a newly promoted team in the Premier League. He will probably play every single minute for Luton in the Premier League. Let's be completely honest. I think that's an incredible move for him, and I hope he accepts it, because I don't think you're going to get a better offer than that, to be completely honest. I really, really don't. When you think last season Ahmad went out to the Championship, and arguably Ahmad was a better player at that point in his career than Hannibal is now, you know, he can go to Luton, he can play every single match probably for them, get all that experience he needs, and then we'll be able to bring him back to Manchester United next season, and most likely he'll probably get some game time then. He's not going to play this year, let's be completely honest. He is somebody who I really like, and somebody who I do think is going to go on to be a special player, but this season, he's not going to get any game time. He really, really isn't. But let me know what you think about that one. Do you think Hannibal to Luton is a good move? For me, 100%. Really good move for him. And I hope it does go through. And I hope he does accept it, because I don't really know what other club he's hoping to go to, you know? You're not going to move to someone like West Ham. Maybe someone like Burnley might go in for him. But other than that, I was expecting him to go to the Championship. So for him to get a Premier League move, I think that is really, really good for his development. I really, really do. So let's just hope that that one goes through. I've got my fingers and my toes crossed for Hannibal, because he is somebody who I think can break through into the Manchester United first team in the next kind of 2 to 3 years, if he gets a successful loan move now and gains some valuable Premier League experience. Right, let's keep things rolling though. We've got 700 of you in the chat now, which is absolutely incredible. Massive shouts to everybody who is joining us this evening. If you are new to the channel, we're live every single day at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. UK time. Yeah, we do a 1 hour show. It's fully interactive. I get you guys involved. So do make sure you subscribe. I've just dropped a link in the chat to subscribe. We are less than 70 subscribers now, away from 8,300. So if you are new, please do subscribe. If you are a regular, please do smash a like on the video, and please get involved in the get involved in the chat. Let me know how you're feeling about all the topics we're discussing. Right, let's keep things rolling though, as I like to do. Let's talk about I'll keep the takeover stuff right to the very end because, to be completely honest with you, I find the takeover stuff a bit boring now, but I will talk about it at the end. So let's talk about this surprise bid. I'm sure lots of you are in the chat saying, what the hell is this surprise bid? Please tell me, Kieran. Everybody chill out. I'm now going to tell you. So this is coming in from 3 different Turkish journalists. I did a bit of deep dive into these people because, to be completely honest with you, I'd never heard of any of them. One of them had over 1 million followers on Twitter. The other one, yeah, they both looked pretty legit. And I did a bit of digging on them, and they seem to be legitimate Turkish journalists. Anyway, so the story that's come out this afternoon is apparently Manchester United have made an official offer to sign Fenerbahce goalkeeper Altay Bayındır as their new number 2 goalkeeper. Now, this is somebody who we did speak about on the channel a couple of weeks ago, so it's not a complete surprise. It's a surprise in the sense that it caught me off guard, but he is somebody that we've been linked to for a number of weeks. Obviously, for anybody who's been sleeping under a rock, we are looking for another goalkeeper. We are looking for a backup second choice goalkeeper. We have been speaking to Zion Suzuki from Urawa Reds in Japan, but for some reason that deal doesn't seem to have materialised. So Manchester United have gone back to the drawing board, and this Altay Bayındır guy, who I'm to be completely honest with you, I've never seen him play before. I haven't. If there's anybody from Turkey in the chat who has seen him, let me know what kind of player he is, if he's good. He's apparently available for around £5 million. He is 25 years of age. He plays his football, as I said, for Turkey, for Fenerbahce. He looks pretty good. I watched a couple of clips of him earlier, like, you know, just the compilations and stuff. I know you can't judge a player off them, but from what I saw of him in those clips, he looked pretty decent. Yeah, so it looks like we are going to now kind of push things forward to try and sign this goalkeeper. What's he called? Zion Suzuki seems to not want to come to Manchester United because he wants to stay in Japan for the Euros. Sorry, not the Euros, the Olympics. So this guy seems to be the second best option. And as I said, we have been linked to him for a number of weeks, so it hasn't completely come out of nowhere. And we all did know that we needed a second goalkeeper. I know a lot of you are probably screaming at your screen now. What about Matis Kovar? What about Matis Kovar? I really wanted him to get some game time. I will talk about him in a minute because it does look like he is up for sale. Yeah. Let me know if anybody in the chat is from Turkey and anybody has seen this guy play football before. Please do let me know. As I've said, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I watch him every single week because I simply don't. And I've just watched a couple of compilations. I've read a couple of scout reports about him, and he does look like a good goalkeeper. But obviously, those compilation clips only show the best bits of a player, don't they? They're not going to show all the bad stuff he does. So I've only seen the best bits of him. But for a second goalkeeper, I have absolutely no issue with it whatsoever, to be completely honest with you. Obviously, Fenerbahce are a massive club. They win a lot of trophies. So he's, you know, he knows what... he knows what it means to be. I'm just having a look at his stats last season. So last season, yeah, he was in. So they played in the Europa League last year. Let's have a look what else he's done. I'm just having a quick look at his stats for you whilst we're live. Yeah, so they played in the Europa League last year. He played 8 times. He played 26 games in the Turkish league. Yeah, so I mean, he's pretty experienced. He is quite young. He is the goalkeeper for the Turkish national team as well. Yeah, it's one to keep an eye on. It is. But at this point, sources in Turkey are reporting that Manchester United have made an official offer for this player. Obviously, as soon as we know exactly how much that bid is worth, I will, of course, let you know. But as it stands, that hasn't been clarified yet. But from what these people are saying, it'll be somewhere between 5 and 10 million. You know, it's not going to be a massive amount of money. And as I said, I know lots of you are going to be wondering what's going on with Matis Kovar. Apparently, Manchester United are looking to put him up for sale and are willing to accept somewhere around £6 million for Matis Kovar. Now, I don't know why Erik ten Hag doesn't fancy him, because whenever I've seen him play, he looks pretty good. But obviously, we 100% trust Erik ten Hag. If he doesn't think Matis Kovar is good enough for Manchester United, if he doesn't think he suits his style, then obviously that's completely fine, and I back him. But yeah, it is a bit of a strange one, to be completely honest with you. I don't really know why we're getting a backup goalkeeper, because we have Matis Kovar, who looks pretty decent for me. So in relation to this other new goalkeeper, he played 26 matches in the Turkish league last year, and he let in 31 goals. So he let in about a goal a game, roughly. He got 9 clean sheets in 26 games. It's okay. In the Europa League, in 8 matches, he let in 9 goals. Again, it's okay. Yeah. I'm not really too sure. I'm not going to get really excited. I'm not going to start jumping around my room because we're signing a backup goalkeeper from Turkey who I've never heard of. I hope he comes in and I hope he does well, but I'm not going to, I'm not going to make it out to be anything more than it is. He is a backup goalkeeper. He's a second choice option. And yeah, I'm a little bit confused about it, but obviously I fully trust Erik ten Hag. Right, let's crack on with the rest of the show, though. Let's talk about Amad Diallo. Amad is somebody who I absolutely love. Obviously, he did have a little bit of an injury, didn't he, against Arsenal? The Athletic are reporting the following. Amad is set to stay at Manchester United this season after suffering a knee injury that has ruled out a potential loan move. So some of you are going to be really happy about this in the chat. Obviously, I'm not happy that Amad's injured, but the general gist of it is Amad Diallo is not leaving the club this summer on loan. He will be a Manchester United player. He will be here for this season. Obviously, it did look like he was going to go out on loan originally, but because of his injury, because of, ultimately you can't loan out an injured player. So the Athletic are reporting that Amad Diallo will stay at Manchester United this season and he will not be going out on loan. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm really happy about that. Obviously, I hope he gets back to full fitness as soon as possible, but I genuinely think Amad Diallo deserves a chance this year. I really do. I think Pellistri being loaned out is the right decision. I think Hannibal being loaned out is the right decision. But for me, Amad Diallo's done that. He went to Sunderland. He did really well. He needs to come in and he needs to get some game time. And if then we don't fancy him, we need to sell him, But I have really high expectations for Amad Diallo. I do think he's going to come in and I do think he's going to do well. Because every time I see that guy play, he excites me. He gets me off my seat. He reminds me, well, it's a little bit like Garnacho. He's the same. When Garnacho comes on the pitch, he excites me. He just has that certain flair to him. And I think Amad Diallo's the same. Obviously, they're very different players, but they have that raw element to them where they're kind of not scared. Do you know what I mean? They're not scared of what the press are going to say. They come on and they'll just try stuff. And I'm excited about Amad Diallo. And I am happy that he will stay at Manchester United this season and he won't be loaned out. Because we were seeing he's going to go on loan to the Italian league. And it's just pointless. Why would you loan out Amad Diallo to the Italian league? Unless he's going to go and play for a Premier League club, unless he's going to go to a Burnley or a West Ham. I just think loan moves are pretty pointless, Hannibal to Luton, that's a great example of a loan move. But for example, Pellistri being linked to Boca Juniors, I just think that's completely pointless. I really do. I'm happy that Amad Diallo is staying at Manchester United. Obviously, the circumstances are a bit unfortunate that he's only staying because he's injured and that he was going to be loaned out otherwise. That's ultimately the story that's being reported. But overall, I'm happy with this one. Do let me know in the comments section whether you think Amad Diallo staying is the right decision or maybe you thought he should have been loaned out. Let me know what you think. But for me, I think we will need him next season. If Jadon Sancho is going to be a false nine, then I think we do need him. I do, because our right wing options are quite limited then. We'll have Amad, we'll have Garnacho, we'll have Amad, we'll have Sancho, and we'll have Anthony, right? Sancho looks like he's going to play as a false nine. So you ultimately just have Amad and Anthony. And I do think that Amad can come on and change games. I really do. I think he's a quality player. I will keep you updated on that one. But as it stands, he will be staying at Manchester United due to him being injured. And they can't loan out an injured player. Right, let's crack on with things though. I think it's been quite a positive day today for Manchester United news generally. There's been lots of stuff coming in, which is, it's made me feel quite positive about how things are moving. Right. I wanted to ask you guys about Jean-Clair Todibo from Nice. What's everybody's thoughts on him? I've been watching a couple more clips of him today. I've been looking at kind of scout report websites. I'm not really sure what all the hype about is, to be completely honest with you. Apparently Manchester United are wanting to sign this Jean-Clair Todibo guy from Nice. He's available for around 40 to 50 million pounds, which again sounds like a hell of a lot of money for someone who, to be completely honest with you, I'd never heard of before about a month ago. He's 23 years of age, obviously a French international, plays his football for Nice. Doesn't really excite me, to be completely honest with you. I've seen some people on Twitter trying to compare him to Raphael Varane, but I think that's a little bit lazy. Other than the fact that he's French and that he's a centre-back, I don't think he's as good as Raphael Varane. I don't think he ever will be. But the reason I bring him up is Juventus were reportedly entering the race to sign Jean-Clair Todibo, but Fabrizio Romano has come out in the last half an hour saying that Juventus are not open to proceed with Jean-Clair Todibo deal due to the conditions asked by Nice. So ultimately, Juventus knocked on the door of Nice and said, we really want to buy Todibo. And they said, we want X amount of money. And Juventus have just immediately left the deal because whatever the fee that Nice are asking for, believed to be around 40 to 50 million, has been deemed unacceptable by Juventus and they've pulled out. Fabrizio does go on to say that there are more clubs interested in the French centre-back who could be on the move this summer. For me, I would just be happy if he stays at Nice. I don't really want him at Manchester United. Obviously, if he comes, I'll fully back him. I'll fully support him. But I wouldn't personally bother with him. There was another story coming out as well from a newspaper in France I'd never heard of saying that I mean, this one is, some of these stories come out and you just think, why do they even bother? So it's a story, it's a newspaper called Nacional. Never heard of it. They say it is a matter of moments before Todibo completes a move to Manchester United after Ten Hag requested the arrival of the footballer in an effort to replace Harry Maguire. So this newspaper in France are saying it's a matter of moments before Todibo joins Manchester United. I mean, I think that's an absolute load of rubbish, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, I think it's an absolute rubbish. But let me know what you think about that one. Yeah, for me, it's a no. It is. But let's crack on with some other stuff, though, because there's no point talking about stories that we think are complete rubbish, is there? Where are we? I will read out some of your questions as well in the second half of the show. So if you do have any questions you want to get in, put the letter Q in front of your message in the chat, and I will read out as many as I can in the last kind of 10 to 20 minutes of the show. We've got over 750 people watching today, which is absolutely mega. Big ups to everybody who are in the chat. Please do smash a like on the video if you haven't already, guys, and please do subscribe to the channel. We're now 61 subscribers away from 8,300, so let's see if we can hit that by the end of the stream. I reckon we can do it, guys. Let's crack on with the show, though. There is one more story which I think we can put immediately in the bin, but I'm going to bring it up to get you guys' opinions, just to see whether you think it is somebody we should actually be looking at. There's a story coming out linking Manchester United to Tchouaméni from Real Madrid. I mean, how on earth would we have the budget to buy Tchouaméni, just to start things off? I've seen quite a few people talking about him on Twitter, saying we should get him. You know, he would be a great player for Manchester United, which I agree with. But how on earth would we be able to afford Tchouaméni? It was the same as the Romeo Lavia story that we had this morning. Like, how on earth would we even be able to enter that race? Let me just get this story up for you. It was a French journalist who was reporting that apparently Manchester United... so it goes as follows. It says, Manchester United are interested in signing Tchouaméni from Real Madrid. Erik ten Hag is keen on bringing the Real Madrid midfielder to Old Trafford. I don't know about that one, to be completely honest. I mean, the source it's come out from is called Sport. I'm not sure what that is. I think it's a load of rubbish, to be completely frank with you. I think it's absolute nonsense, and I don't even know why they bother to print the paper that they write it on. I assume it's a kind of mainstream newspaper in France. I would say that the chances of Tchouaméni coming to Manchester United are probably less than 5%, honestly. I would say that it's just as likely that Harry Kane will come to Manchester United as that Tchouaméni would. You know, I'm putting it in the 5% bracket. I think it's absolute rubbish. And I don't think he'll come. I don't. As much as I would love to see him at Manchester United, I could see him going to Liverpool or someone like that. I could see someone like that entering the race for Tchouaméni. Manchester United, it's a no from me. I just don't see it happening. The same with Goretzka. I know some people like him, but all of these stories linking us to Goretzka, does anybody really think that that's believable? Obviously, Plättigol in Germany reporting that we're interested in Goretzka. I just think it's a load of rubbish. I really, really do. And I just think that his agents trying to put Manchester United's name in the same sentence as their player to either try and get a new contract or to try and generate interest from other clubs, because there is no way on earth that we're going to be able to get Tchouaméni or Goretzka. Like, it just simply isn't going to happen. We're going to get Amrabat, and then we're probably going to try and sign a centre-back or a striker. And obviously this goalkeeper that we spoke about already on the show. Like, that will be our window this summer. We'll get a backup goalkeeper, we'll get Amrabat, and then we might get another striker or a defender if we're lucky. We're never going to get Tchouaméni. I mean, how much would Tchouaméni even be worth? How much did they pay for him? I mean, Tchouaméni's probably going to be, what, 80 million? Yeah, I mean, Real Madrid paid 80 million for Tchouaméni. They're not going to sell him for anything less than that. So, absolute rubbish. I would probably give that story a 5% reality reliability rating. But yeah, let's crack on with something else, though, because I don't really want to talk about Tchouaméni because I think it's rubbish. Let's talk about Harry Kane really, really quickly. Now, the reason I bring this up is not because we're linked to him again. It's because Manchester United have apparently said the following. This has come through Andy Mitten, who is a journalist, I believe, who's quite close to Manchester United. He has said the following. People within the club think that Harry Kane's game has changed, and not for the better. They blame him for dropping too low, and the statistical argument was not enough in their eyes. So, not only Manchester United are now spinning, because they didn't get Harry Kane, they're putting out these stories that the club actually think that his game has weakened, and they don't think he's as good as he was before, and they don't like the fact that he drops back into midfield. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, what a load of rubbish. Harry Kane scored 30 goals last season for one of the worst Tottenham teams I've ever seen. And for Manchester United to brief these journalists saying that ultimately, you know, they believe his game has changed and not for the better, and they blame him for dropping back into midfield. Do they even watch Harry Kane play football? Like, they clearly don't, do they? We're not going to get him, but I just think it's a bit lazy, isn't it, for the club to brief journalists saying, oh, we didn't really want him. We didn't think his play was good enough, and blah blah blah. It's just like, what a load of rubbish. It really, really is. Harry Kane is a world-class player, and we know that Manchester United did want him. We know that he was the number one target for them. So for them to now come out and try and brief people saying that they didn't really want him, it's just a load of rubbish. It really, really is. But yeah, that's my take on it. Obviously, if you guys think that's believable, then obviously that's fine. He got 30 goals and 3 assists last season for Tottenham. I mean, that is unbelievable, isn't it? That's ridiculous stats. But yeah, for me, I've said this many, many times on the show before. I genuinely think if we'd signed Harry Kane, we would be title contenders. I would put us in that bracket. I really, really would. But the same as Tchouaméni, I would say there's probably a 5% chance of us signing Tchouaméni or Harry Kane. It's not going to happen. We've got to be realistic. I'm not going to sit here and try and get too excited. Jackie says, we have just paid nearly 80 million for Hojlund, and you think Tchouaméni not worth 80 million? Shocking, he's worth every penny. No, I think Tchouaméni is 100% worth 80 million. I'm just saying we obviously don't have the money to buy him. What else have we got? I'll read out a couple of your comments actually as well now. Let's have a look. Yeah, as Malp says, we just need to forget Harry Kane at this point. We really, really do. There obviously is a slim chance that he doesn't go to Bayern. He stays at Tottenham and then we get him for free next summer, which I would do, to be completely honest with you. Let me ask you this in the chat, actually. Would you sign Harry Kane for free next season? Let's say he's on 400 grand a week. If Harry Kane was available as a free agent this time next year, would you sign him and he's on 400 grand a week? Let me know in the comment section. For me, I 100% would. I really, really would. But yeah, I think he's going to go to Bayern. I really, really do. Right, let's see if anybody's got any questions. If you do have some questions, get them in the chat. Somebody says, do we need a second striker like Victor Osimhen? We 100% need a second striker. Thank you for your question. But unfortunately, that's not going to be Victor Osimhen. There is no way on earth we sign Victor Osimhen this summer. Napoli want 150 million for him. As much as I would love Victor Osimhen at Manchester United, I would say again, there's less than 5% chance that Manchester United will get him. Probably 1% chance. He was my number one option at the beginning of the summer. He was. I love Victor Osimhen. I think he would be incredible. But I think realistically, we need to be more looking at people like Taremi from Porto. Maybe someone like Jonathan David, maybe. But even then, he's going to be about 60 million euros. We need to be looking in the 20 to 30 million pounds mark, or even loan signings. We're not going to get Rasmus Hojlund and Victor Osimhen. Maybe if we had new owners, but I don't think we would at this point, to be completely honest with you. Right, where are we? Yeah, quite a few people in the chat are saying that Tchouaméni would cost over 80 million. Yeah, he probably would. Like, I honestly don't understand sometimes with these papers that put out these stories, and like, they think that we're stupid enough to think that Manchester United are genuinely going to be interested in Tchouaméni. Like, obviously, I'm sure that they would love to sign him, but where are they going to pull 80 million out of nowhere from? Like, it's never going to happen, is it? So Jihan says, forget old man Kane. I would not take him on a free. It creates wage problems. An old man on crazy wages. We need to learn from the past. No more old men. Marcus from Santos is the guy. I mean, it's a fair point. It is. I don't massively disagree with you. But Harry Kane does guarantee 30 goals. Like, if he scores another 30 goals for Tottenham this season and we can get him for free next year, like, you have to do it. You have to. Obviously, if he scores 5 this year and massively deteriorates, then you obviously don't bother, do you? But thanks to Quincy Jones for the super chat. Many, many thank yous to Quincy Jones. If you do want to do a super chat, if you do want to join the members club, just hit the $sign. Yeah, any support is, of course, appreciated. So thank you, Quincy Jones, for the super chat. Yeah, you know where the $sign is, guys, if you do want to do it. Mr. U says, Kane is for the past, we build for the future. I do get your point here. Like, obviously, Rasmus Hojlund's 20-year-old. You know, even people like Lisandro Martinez, Marcus Rashford, like, the spine of our team are all about 25. Bringing in someone like Harry Kane at this point, he's going to be, what, 31 or 32 next year? It is a very, very slow, you know, very short-minded approach, isn't it? Harry Kane will be here for 1 or 2 years at the very, very most, and then he probably is going to drop off massively. So I do agree with you that bringing in somebody younger is a better option, and that's why I quite like Colin Mwani. I think he would be a great signing, but again, he's going to cost a hell of a lot of money. I think they want around 80 million euros for Colin Mwani. Like, I just can't simply see us getting Colin Mwani and Rasmus Hojlund in the same transfer window. It's not going to happen. But yeah, I would get someone like Colin Mwani. Yeah, as Red Army says, free transfer equals bigger wages and agent fees. Yeah, 100%, 100%, 100%. Right, let's have a look. I'm going to read out a couple of you guys' questions now, so do get some questions in if you haven't already, and I will read some out. Okay, so this is a bit of an interesting take. Malps has said, Malps, who's a very good contributor to the channel, so thank you for this, Malps. Malps has said, I'm still waiting for Manchester United to sign a world-class striker. A world-class player. Malps has said, I'm still waiting for us to sign a world-class player. What does everybody think about that take? Obviously, it is slightly controversial, I guess, but it is an opinion. Let me know what you guys think about that one. It's a very damning statement. Let's go through it. Mason Mount, I don't think he's world-class. Onana, I would say Onana's world-class. I would. If you compare him with other goalkeepers, I'd say he's in the top 10 goalkeepers in the world. Rasmus Hojlund obviously isn't world-class at this point. So, yeah, I get where you're coming from. I don't think Rasmus Hojlund or Mason Mount are world class, but I do think that I do think that Onana is world class to be. Yeah, I do. I do think he is world class. Obviously, we've got to wait and see how he performs in the Premier League. He might be absolutely terrible, but I think previously for Inter Milan, for Ajax, he was world class. So yeah, but I do agree with you on Mason Mount and Rasmus Hojlund. Neither of them are world class in my opinion. Welcome to everybody who's joining late, by the way. So Quincy Jones says, why are Arsenal playing in the Community Shield instead of Manchester United? We went FA Cup final and they didn't. That's a really good question. Most of you probably don't care because you don't support that team, but the Community Shield is this weekend, right? So the Community Shield is usually the Premier League winner against the FA Cup winner, right? But obviously, Manchester City won both the Premier League and the FA Cup. So for some reason, which I don't really understand why, Manchester City are playing Arsenal. So because Manchester City won both of the tournaments, they now play the second team in the Premier League. So, I mean, it's going to be funny, isn't it, if Arsenal win the Community Shield, because they definitely don't, like, they've kind of got in there based on default, haven't they? They shouldn't be in the Community Shield because they didn't win the FA Cup. But yeah, it is a bit of a strange one. Maybe we should be in there. Maybe Manchester United should be in that Community Shield on Sunday, but it is what it is. I probably won't even bother watching it, to be completely honest with you. I might do. What else have we got? Malp says, do you think they'll give us a marquee signing? I mean, that's a really, really good question. Manchester United always seem to make a marquee signing. Do you not think any of our signings so far have been marquee? I mean, Mason Mount is very, very popular in England. Onana obviously isn't a marquee signing. Rasmus Hojlund probably. I mean, is Rasmus Hojlund? This is a good question, actually. What defines a marquee signing for you? Some people say it's the price tag. Some people say it's the player's profile. Let me know let me know in the comment section what you think defines a marquee signing. Because for me, it's a really, really difficult one, isn't it? I probably would say on paper, Rasmus Hojlund is a marquee signing. He's costing us 80 million euros. He's a striker who should be here for the next 10 plus years. Obviously, he's not world class at this point, but we're buying him with the plan of him becoming world class. But I do get what you mean. We haven't signed like a Casemiro. We haven't signed a Varane. We haven't signed someone of that nature. So yeah, maybe that will happen. Obviously, let's wait and see. I would not be surprised at all if we do make a marquee signing, though. Maybe that'll be a loan offer. You know, we bring in somebody on loan, a really, really big player. Who knows? I'm not really too sure. But thank you for that question. It was a good question. Roland says, I don't think Ahmad is better than Pellistri. Do you? That's a good question. Thank you, Roland. So, do I think Pellistri is better than Ahmad? Oh, I'm not really sure, you know. I think they're both good. I know that's a cop-out answer. I've seen Ahmad play football more than I've seen Pellistri, so I would probably say I prefer Ahmad at this moment in time, but I definitely think that Pellistri could go on to be a Manchester United player, 100%. Both of them, I think, have the potential to be there. I really, really do. But let me know in the comment section, would you rather have, who do you think is better, Ahmad or Pellistri? Obviously, they're different players. Jihan says Mason Mount is a top signing. That's the thing. It depends completely on opinion, doesn't it? Some people will say Mason Mount is a marquee signing. Others will say Mason Mount's rubbish. Why did we sell him? Like, it all does just boil down to opinion. Other people will say, I mean, let's be completely honest here. Surely Onana's a marquee signing. We've had David De Gea for the last 12 years. He's deteriorated massive. We've been waiting to get this ball-playing, elite distribution goalkeeper, right? We've just bought one of, in my opinion, the top 10 goalkeepers in the world, Onana. He's just come off the back of a Champions League final. Is that not a marquee signing? If you actually, compare it to impact, if he has the impact we're all expecting, does that not make him a marquee signing? Maybe it does. I'm not sure what the answer is, You can bring in a marquee signing like Messi or Neymar or whatever, but it might not work. If Onana works, I would say that that's probably our most important signing in the last 10 years, genuinely. If we do immediately see a different style of our play, I think that is a huge, huge signing for us. I really, really do. I said that at the very beginning when we signed him. I thought he is a massive, massive signing. If it works, if he plays the way that Erik ten Hag wants him to play, if we do see this change in style, I honestly think that he could be one of the most important signings for Manchester United in the last 10 years, genuinely. Lots of people are getting their opinions in whether they think Amad or Pellistri are better players. At the end of the day, I don't really like comparing young players because they are both very, very young and I want both of them to succeed. But if I'm asking at this exact moment in time, I probably would say I prefer Amad. Right, let's read out a couple more questions. We've got about 10 minutes left of the show this evening, guys. If you haven't smashed a like on the video yet, please go and do that now. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please also do that. We are less than 50 subscribers away from 6,300 now. So please do go and subscribe and let's see if we can hit that by the end of today's stream. Right. I'm going to read out a couple more of your questions as well. So if you do have a question, put the letter Q in front of your message and I will read it out. Irvin says Rashford isn't looking good for next season, to be honest. I'm worried about what we would do up front. To be honest with you, I don't think we can really judge players on pre-season form, to be completely honest. I think Rashford is building up fitness. And I think he will start the season well. I'm expecting a big season from Rashford this year. I'm expecting him to get 30 goals again. And I think he's going to kick on. I think he's going to do really, really well. So let's get behind our players. Let's back our team. Pre-season is pre-season. They're all, coming back to fitness. They're trying to get minutes in their legs again. So I think it's a little bit unfair to judge people like Rashford and Mason Mount off a few pre-season matches. Yeah, people talking about Eric Bailly in the chat. I mean, what on earth is going on with Eric Bailly? Like, I feel like he's already left the club, but he hasn't. There is literally nothing, no stories about Eric Bailly whatsoever. Not a single journalist on the internet has said anything about Eric Bailly in the last week. Not one. I don't know what's going on with him. I really, really do not. Obviously, he's not going to be a Manchester United player next season, but I have absolutely zero ideas of where he's going to go. Obviously, he has offers from Saudi Arabia, but that hasn't materialised for whatever reason. Al Nassr, where Cristiano Ronaldo plays, was really, really pushing for him, but it hasn't happened. So unfortunately, I can't give you any answers on Eric Bailly. I wish I could, but I simply cannot. All right, let's read out a couple more of your questions. Somebody says Mason Mount will bag in goals. There's still more levels to his game. Yeah, 100%. I'm looking forward to seeing Mason Mount actually play properly. James says, who do you think will play more this season, Wan-Bissaka or Diogo Dallo? Now, that is a really, really good question. Thank you for that question, James. The question is, who do we think is going to get more game time next season, Diogo Dallo or Wan-Bissaka? Let me know in the comments section who you would prefer to see being the main right-back next year. Now, I'm going to give you a bit of a cheat answer. I honestly think that both of them will, I reckon it'll be 50-50 because Ten Hag, for some reason, likes to change up his right-backs. We saw it lots of times last season. Diogo Dallo would look like he was having a good game. And then next thing you know, Aaron Wan-Bissaka comes on the pitch. So I honestly think that he's going to rotate it between the two people. I think we'll see lots of Wan-Bissaka. I think we'll see lots of Diogo Dallo. And I think that does work well because it gives us different options in different games. It gives us different tactics we can implement. Obviously, we know that Wan-Bissaka is elite defensive-wise, but not great going forward. Diogo Dallo is okay defensively, but a lot better going forward. So yeah, I think it does give us options in different games. If you're at home against, let's say, a lesser opponent, you can play Diogo Dallo, you can push him right up the pitch. Whereas if you're against a really, really difficult team, you're away at the Etihad, you're away at Liverpool, then you can stick Wan-Bissaka in and you know that it's going to be very, very difficult for anybody to get past him. So I honestly do think that both of them will get lots of game time next year. I really, really do. Obviously, Dallo's just signed a new contract as well. So Erik ten Hag clearly sees him in his plans for this season. Right, let's read out a couple more questions as well. Where are we? There we go. So Jimmy says, if the Glazers leave, what could Manchester United achieve? That's a great question. Do you know what? I'm just going to give you the first answer that came to my head. So Jimmy's asked, what will Manchester United achieve if the Glazers leave. I honestly think the first thing that we'll achieve is we'll reunite the fan base again. And I know that might sound a bit soppy, but I actually think that's one of the most important things here. The fan base is so divided, and a lot of that is down to how the Glazers have ran the club over the last 18 years. They've operated with this conquer and divide tactic where they make decisions that, you know, divide the fan base. They don't care about the fans. And I honestly think that if the Glazers left, it would reunite the fan base, because at the very beginning of this whole takeover process, there were so many people who were saying, I don't want Qatar, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of those people have changed their opinions now, and they think, okay, well, the two options are either Qatar or they're Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who is keeping the Glazers, you know? So I do actually think that, I don't know what the stats are. I really don't. We can do a poll on it really quickly just to see. But I would probably say at this point that, I'm just going to do a poll on it really quick. I would say that probably 90% of the fan base around that kind of mark probably want Qatar, right? Let's have a look. Right, give me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to get a poll going. Do smash a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Who do you want as next Manchester United owners? Qatar. All right. So the question is, for this part of the show, obviously there are going to be some people who disagree, which if you do disagree with the majority, do get your reasons in the comment section and I will read them out. So who do you want as the next owner of Manchester United? This poll was generated in relation to somebody's question where they said, what will be the first thing that Manchester United achieve? What will the Manchester United achieve without the Glazers? And I said, it will unite the fan base. I do, because I genuinely think now most people want Qatar to be the new owners. They want the debt cleared. They want the new stadium. They want the investment in the team. And they want Erik ten Hag to be backed on every different area, you know, with Carrington, with the playing staff, with the people on the pitch, all the rest of it. And I genuinely think that if Qatar were now to come in, there will be a small portion of people who don't want Qatar, which is obviously completely fine. You're entitled to your opinion. I've got no issue with people having different opinions to me. But overall, I do think that it will reunite the fan base. And I think that's a massive achievement, because for the last 18 years, the fan base has been absolutely rotten. Let's be completely honest with you, right? There's so much toxicity. There's so many people arguing. There's so much divide. And that can't be helping us on the pitch. It really can't. You know, we need to all be united as one fan base. And I just think at the moment, we're really not. There's so many decisions that are being made that are causing, you know, upset. Let's say Mason Greenwood, for example. You know, some people want him here, some people don't. Manchester United should have made this decision a very long time ago about Mason Greenwood. Let's be completely clear about that. Whatever anybody thinks about it, whatever any of your personal reasons are, the reason why there are so many fans arguing about this is because Manchester United have not made the decision, and they've taken so long to do it. And this is something that they've done for many years. They always do these types of things, the Glazers. So for me, I think the immediate thing that we'll achieve with new owners is reunite the fan base. And for me, that's actually one of the most important things, because honestly, when you go on Twitter as a Manchester United fan, it's so toxic. It really is. And that's partly why I started this channel, guys, because I wanted to make a community where we're positive, where we can all have differing opinions, we can all come together and we can all share our opinions. And I don't ever want people to kind of put people down for having different opinions, because that's not what this channel is for. So yeah, that was part of the reasons why we did start the channel up. But do get involved in the poll. I will read out the little bit of takeover news really quickly whilst we're on this topic, because it is in the show title. So Ben Jacobs was talking earlier on today, and he has said that all 6 Glazers are determined sellers for the right price. It's just said that that there are disagreements within the Glazer family about what that price is. So Ben Jacobs, some of you like him, some of you don't. I think he's quite a good journalist sometimes. Yeah, I think he's done very well around the takeover. I'll be completely honest. I hadn't actually heard of him before the takeover. So he definitely has not profited, that's a bit harsh, but he definitely has kind of made his name around the takeover, hasn't he? But he has been quite good about it, and he is ultimately saying that they will sell for the right price. They are determined, but there is currently disagreements about what that right price is. Okay. He also goes on to say the Glazers feel that with how football is advancing and how the globalization of the game, such as the new Club World Cup format, the Saudi Pro League, new Adidas deal, etc., gives them opportunity to want more money for the club. Due to said advancements, this is why there is still a level of hesitation to sell from Joel and Avram. I mean, that kind of says it up. And he says a sale isn't paused, though. So the Manchester United sale hasn't been paused. Welcome to Quincy Jones, who's just joined the members club. Massive shouts to you, Quincy Jones. Thank you very much for joining. If you do want to join the members club, you get a badge next to your name. It's $2.99 a month. Really supports the channel. So if you are in a position to join the members club, I've just dropped a link to do that in the chat, or you can hit the $sign. Yeah, right. Let's read out the other little bit of takeover news as well, really quickly. Where are we? Yeah, so ultimately, just to give you a bit of a summary on that, Ben Jacobs is saying the sale hasn't been paused, and ultimately the Glazers are disagreeing over how much they want. I will say, though, again, as I say with all of these bits of stories, I do think a lot of these journalists do just kind of make it up as they're going along, to be completely honest with you. Like, they're going to have got this from a press office somewhere that have said the sale isn't paused, you know? Because if the sale was actually paused, they would have had to put out a statement saying, we're not selling anymore, you know? So I do think that some of these journalists do kind of waffle a little bit, to be completely honest, but it is what it is, isn't it? Richie says, the fan base is divided by YouTubers and social media. I disagree with you, to be completely honest. I mean, let me know in the comment section if you think that these shows divide the fan base. I don't think they do, to be completely honest. Maybe you're talking about other channels, which is fine, but I'm very, very clear on this channel that everybody's opinion's welcome. I don't want any discrimination towards anybody for having a differing opinion. And I am always someone who will hear another opinion about football matters. I'll give my own, and I'm happy to have that conversation with you. So I don't think you can say that, you know, we're divided just because of social media. You know, we're divided in the sense that people argue on social media about certain topics. But so you're saying that it's social media's fault that Mason Greenwood is still a Manchester United player? I mean, that doesn't really make any sense, does it, to be completely honest? Twitter didn't decide that Mason Greenwood should be a Manchester United player, did they? The Glazers will decide. And then the fan base are arguing on Twitter about whether Mason Greenwood should be a Manchester United player. So the divide, in that case, is caused by the Glazers not making a decision about Mason Greenwood. You've got some people saying he has to play, he's done nothing wrong. And then you've got other people saying, I don't want him ever near Manchester United again. And because the Glazers haven't ultimately been the big man in this situation and made a decision, everybody's arguing. So I don't really get how you can say that the fan base is divided purely because of social media. That doesn't really make sense personally, but yeah, I've just explained that it's divided by the Glazers. You know, they could have decided a year ago that Mason Greenwood would be removed from his contract, and then we'd never be sat here talking about it. We'd never be arguing. There'll be people in the chat now saying, bring back Mason, he's done nothing wrong. And then there'll be others saying, I don't want him anywhere near my club. And then those people will start arguing. That's divided, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, that's my take on it. Obviously, if you think that that's the case, then obviously that's up to you. I can't change your mind. And everybody, as somebody says in the chat, you should always have your own opinion on things, you know? Just because someone sat behind there, just because me sat on a webcam tells you one thing, I've always said this, guys. In any form of life, you've got to have your own opinion on matters. Just because I'm telling you that, you know, I want the Glazers out, it doesn't mean that you have to have the Glazers out. Yeah, as Simon says, communities such as this are what keep fans sane and together. Yeah. I honestly don't think that so far in this chat people are divided. Even when we were talking about Mason Greenwood earlier, I think people were being very, very respectful about it. I really, really do. Some people said that they didn't want him. Some people said they did. And honestly, I respect anybody's opinions. I have my own opinions on things like that. But the most important thing for me is that we shouldn't even be at the point where we're having opinions on it. It should have been decided by the Glazers a long time ago, you know? And that's my point here. A more competent club, a club that wasn't just worried about retaining an asset, which is ultimately Mason Greenwood's value, would have made the decision a long time ago, and they wouldn't have allowed this room of forum on the internet to decide whether he's wrong or he's right. You know, that's ultimately the black of it. And thank you to Simon, who says, this channel is my therapy. Honestly, that is all I set out to do on this channel, was just to have a community where we can all come together. I don't want any divide. I don't want arguing. People can have differing opinions, but you should be able to come together and, you know, discuss it. We're all humans, you know, we don't need to hurl abuse at each other. So somebody says, has Manchester United considered swapping Fred for Amrabat? I think that would be an interesting deal, to be honest. I mean, I think that would be a good deal, but I think the issue with all of our outgoings is the wages. Let's have a look. So Fiorentina's highest earning player is on... Their highest earning player is on 60 grand a week. Fred's on 120. So that kind of puts that argument straight in the water, unfortunately. It's a good idea. I like it. I really, really do. But yeah, I don't think a swap deal with Fred and Amrabat would work, to be completely honest. Like, I get it. I get where you're coming from. But the wages, Fred's paid double what Amrabat's paid. So yeah, it's not gonna work like that. I mean, let's have a look. How much is Amrabat paid? Amrabat is paid 36,000 euros a week at Fiorentina. That's less than 30. It's probably about £30,000 a week Amrabat's paid. Fred is on 120. So when you look at it like that, you're doing a swap player. Yes, maybe fine, you know, value-wise, maybe they're similar, but Fred's going to want 4 times the amount of money as what they pay Amrabat. It's not going to work, unfortunately. I'll read out a couple more questions. We've only got 1 minute left of the video, but I'll read out a couple more. James says, I feel more united with this channel. That's amazing. I really, really do appreciate your support, mate. Thank you for that. Yeah, Jimmy says you bring fans together on here. Yeah, honestly, this community, I say this quite often, but this community is, honestly, I absolutely love doing these shows with you. So yeah, big ups to everybody in the community. I really, really do appreciate you all. This feels like a really, really good place to wrap up the video, though. It's been an hour-long show. It's been an absolutely incredible one. We had over 750 people watching. We've gone through so many different topics. We've had really, really good discussion. We've had some quite difficult questions talked about, you know, whether the fan base is divided because of X, Y, and Z. And I think we've handled it really, really well as a community. And there's nobody arguing in the chat, and it's really, really nice. So big ups to everybody who has watched the show today. As always, please do smash a like on the video on your way out. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new here. We are live every single day at 8 AM UK time and 6 PM UK time. So I will catch you guys in the morning tomorrow at 8 AM for another interactive show. If anything breaks between then and now, of course, we will go live. So make sure you've hit the notification bell. But until tomorrow, I hope you have a lovely evening. I'll catch you guys later. Lots of love and peace out.